Do you want better relationships at work and at home?
Then we've got the insights to make it happen.
I'm Larry.
And I'm Dax, and this is Enrich Relationships Part 2.
Practical skills to lead, connect, and grow. Why is focus so important? Russell M. Nelson said in October 2016, "The joy we feel has little to do with the circumstances of our lives and everything to do with the focus of our lives. Focus is critical to everything that we do. It will affect all of our relationships. It will affect us as leaders in all that we do. Everything that we're focused on will drive the direction that we take an organization, the direction we take our families, the direction of everything that we are focused on. In order to be focused, it's important to set priorities in our own life and decide what's going to be the most important, non-negotiable thing. That focus will typically be a relationship, either with deity, either with our family, with our working relationship. But that focus is something that will affect our genuineness in our work, our credibility, our authenticity, and it will help us to be successful in all that we do. In a world that we live in, focus is one of the least things that happens. Often there's overstimulation that comes from chaos created by too many voices, too many opinions, too many things that take us and distract us. And so having a focus can help narrow and center us in the things that are most important.
I find even at work that happens quite a bit, where we will talk at the beginning of the year or at the beginning of a project about what our focus, our goal, our destination should be. And it seems clear up front, but as life happens, as new priorities arise, as changes in the business arise, we find that our focus becomes a little unclear or a little fuzzy, and we start to shift that focus elsewhere. And the danger there is then those great priorities, that great objective we identified at the beginning, becomes lost, and we find we're wandering in different directions. And at the end, we look back at the year, or the end of the project, and we say, well, that wasn't exactly what I aimed to accomplish, or maybe it wasn't even close to what I wanted to accomplish, and it's because my focus wasn't clear. So we find not even in just personal life, but in work life, in all aspects of our life, as you said, Dad, that changing our focus or losing our focus can be a danger or a threat to everything we do.
That's a great point. And I loved what you said about the beginning of the year, because often that's when we'll set a focus, a direction, a priority, and then many times things will come up and distract us or clutter our view of the thing that was most important in the very beginning. It can be really, really helpful to be able to have time to keep reflecting. I know many successful people that have kind of a mantra or some sort of a catchphrase or some other thing, and I think in our own personal lives, that can be helpful. And then maybe even to put it on the wall or have it somewhere where we can look at it, and then have a place, maybe a place where we go that helps us to stay focused on whatever it is that we're trying to keep as a priority. Maybe it's a place out in nature. Maybe it's something we like to read. Maybe it's something that we like to listen to. Music can often be a place that can declutter and help us focus as well. So I think with that, it helps just to have time to step away and reflect, especially when we get into the most clutter or the most stressful situations. It's interesting to look at some of the greatest leaders that have ever lived. Many times what they would do is stop and separate themselves and take time to ponder and reflect. And that can be a great thing in all of our lives to be able to focus.
I like that reminder to step away. One of the reminders that you shared with me prior to this recording was the importance of simplifying. And so as we talk about having a singular focus on an objective or what it is that truly matters, that idea of stepping away ties in perfectly. When we talk about simplifying, it's this idea of not letting everything that might seem like a priority overwhelm or overtake that initial focus. So whether it's at work where you have that project and that singular focus, and stakeholders come up to you and say, well, actually, I need you to focus on this, or my side of the business is having a problem here and I need your help with this. If we're clear and we keep locked on to that initial focus, that helps us to say, yes, I can help, or no, I can't, as that takes me away from my focus. Same in our personal lives. If we find that there's lots of great opportunities to serve in the community or help neighbors and friends, but it takes us away from what we're truly focused on, simply our family or our relationship with God, then that helps us to know what we can and cannot or should not take on that would distract us from that focus.
I was thinking with our families, if they see that focus in our lives, they're going to be more inclined to learn that way of centering their own lives as our children grow up and realize that even though the earth threw lots of curveballs and distractions at us, that no matter what, our number one focus was our family or the other things that are top priorities in our lives. And so it's a great way not only to teach our family, but also those that we work with, those that we associate with, the importance of focus.
And we talked about saying no in a previous episode back in season 1. What a great way to tie that in here. Being able to say no doesn't mean that we're hurting relationships. If done with that singular focus in mind, prioritizing what truly matters, and saying no, and then what we're able to do is enrich that relationship, even in situations where we say, you know what, that doesn't align with my focus at work or at home.
I love that. And I love that, again, the joy will come in the focus, not in the circumstances. We all are affected with circumstances, but the joy is that we can stay focused. Thank you for tuning into today's episode, and be sure to check out our other episodes where we explore additional ways to enrich your relationships at work and with your family.
Before you take off, we invite you to subscribe and share what you liked from this episode with friends, colleagues, and family. Take a moment and share feedback and suggestions with us directly at enrichrelationshipspodcast@gmail.com.
Lasting change comes from enriching your relationships both at work and at home.